and cell phone chimings.
Ding, ding, ding. Hey there, nomads of lore. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Sean.
And we are Mead and Mischief, your home away from no home.
Today, we are going to be talking about the Mandalorian, the Grogu arc, and cell phone chimings.
Ding, ding, ding.
And we are going to be doing one of them there, that tier list things.
That's right.
Because we've seen some other people doing them. They look fun. We wanted to talk about Mandalorian a little bit more. And so we thought, heck, why not? Yes. So we should go through our list because we decided to make a custom tiers on our thing. So our top tier, let's start with the bottom. Our lowest tier is Bantha Poodoo because Gungans are awful. And then our next lowest tier is Dank Ferrick because Mandalorian. Our middle of the road tier is Smoldering Womp Rat. Our next highest tier is a Scruffy Nerf Herder. And the top tier is Holy Carabast. So it's basically, what's his face? I said it 2 seconds ago.
Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb. It's basically the Zeb tier because Zeb is awesome. All right, let's get started.
All right, so chapter 1 is entitled The Mandalorian. And a little short little thing here, a little summary. A Mandalorian bounty hunter takes a tracking job for a client who pays well.
Yeah.
So this is the intro episode we all know and love. It's got the super cool, crazy bar intro where he beats up some people and kills some people and chops a guy in half with a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
IG-11's in there.
Yeah,
we self-destructing and
yeah. So I think this one, I think we need to put this one either at the top.
We're gonna put it at the top for now. Because season 2 is almost better entirely on most metrics. Yep. And so we'll see. We may tweak some stuff later.
We will as we go along.
But we're gonna put this at the top. Oops.
Awesome.
Oh, I accidentally dropped it in Nerf Herder.
No.
Who's scruffy looking? Life Day.
So chapter 2 is entitled The Child.
The Child.
The Child. The Child.
Yeah.
This is a little backwards, like.
Yeah.
Me eating him instead of him eating some blue eggs.
Right. So this was the one with the Jawas and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
This is
having tracked down his quarry, the Mandalorian must now contend with thieving bandits. Yep.
Yeah, so he's got to get the parts to his ship back because that's all done. Then they're like, hey, we'll give you the parts, but you got to go get the Matterhorn.
Matterhorn.
That Matterhorn mountain.
Yeah. Yep. And then you get to see the child use the Force for the first time.
Yeah, which was cool.
Cool.
Overall, though, this episode was not as good.
Yeah. I would say in either the middle tier.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Probably
middle tier.
Okay.
It wasn't awful.
No.
But it just wasn't as cool.
Chapter 3 is entitled The Sin. The battered Mandalorian returns to his client for his rewards, but some deals don't end neatly.
So he's going back and taking there's a lot of good moments in this. I think you like this episode better than I did.
Well, I just like it, like I said, because of the client. He's my favorite character, or one of my favorite characters.
You just like his voice.
I do. I do. It's so different. No, but yeah, I think it's kind of a boring episode until the end when his brothers, the Mandalorian brothers, come, to help him. I think it either probably needs to be middle of the road for now.
We can put it in the Scruffy Nerf Herder if you
stick
want
it there
to.
for now, and we'll decide from there.
The part at the end is pretty cool.
Yeah. So we got chapter 4, which is what? The Sanctuary. The Mandalorian teams up with an ex-soldier to protect a village from raiders. So we were talking about this a little bit before this episode, or maybe we recorded and had to re-record. Yeah. Anyway, really good episode. I like this episode a lot. Yeah.
This is the Magnificent 7 episode.
Yeah.
Love story.
We get Cardoon.
Exactly.
We'll get a little love story with Mando and the I guess she's a widow with a child.
Yeah.
We got the a really cool fight scene. Yeah, it's a really good episode. It's a filler, I think, episode, but it's one of the better filler episodes.
Oh yeah, it was great.
In fact, most of the filler episodes in The Mandalorian are really good.
Yeah. This needs to be at least second tier.
I agree.
I think the beginning. This is better than the. I'm going to put it in front of this one because it's better than the second.
I
episode.
agree with that. So Chapter 5 is the Gunslinger. On a desert planet, the Mandalorian helps a rookie bounty hunter who is in over his head. This episode
was annoying.
Yeah, the young bounty hunter kid was annoying. We do get. Finnick. I can never remember her name.
Dank
Ferrick. Finnick.
Well, yeah, that might be a foreshadowing.
So we do get her at the end. We also get Boba Fett's legs that we come to find out later. But overall, I think this is a weaker episode, especially with the kid. This is a very, I've never thought about it till now, but it's a very character-driven show. Mm-hmm. And depending on what characters happen to be in the episode, really, for me, makes it or breaks it. Because I feel that is why we had such a, we'll get there when we get there, but there's an episode that we both don't like in season 2. Yeah. And I feel like not only because of the character that is in it, but because there are so other few characters in the episode, I think that really hurts it. Anyway.
Yeah, well, the other characters are very important, especially with Mando being blinded. So where are we going to put this? We're going to put it, I think this is probably a Dank Ferrick episode.
At least. Yeah.
I mean, it's, I think it goes up a tier simply because it goes up from Bantha Poodoo to Dank Ferrick simply because it brings us Ming-Na Wen's Fennec Shand character and introduces that character. I think it goes up.
Yeah, I agree. Chapter 6, The Prisoner. The Mandalorian joins a crew of mercenaries on a dangerous mission to spring a convict from a prison ship. So this is where we get introduced to several characters. Yes. Most of which I don't remember names, but we get what is the droid?
Zero.
Yeah. And then we get some Burr action.
Yeah, Bill Burr. He was annoying in this episode, I thought. His gun thing is cool. That was awesome. Yeah.
There's some really cool fighting scenes, if I remember correctly, from this episode.
Yes, I liked this episode a lot, actually. There was a lot that I really liked about it. Actually, the most off-putting thing was the girl, Twi'lek. I thought she was very...
I forgot about her. Yeah.
But she wasn't in it enough to ruin it. And it's got, what's-his-face, the guy that's... He's been in lots of stuff. He's the big demon-looking character in this. I can't remember what the actor's name is. He's the bad guy in that old 80s Highlander.
Highlander.
He's the bad guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't think of what the actor is, but he's good in that one. Cool. I liked the whole thing with Zero and being scared for the child. That was really cool. The moment when Grogu, we didn't know he was called Grogu then, but Baby Yoda is stuck and Zero's going to be about to kill him, and then Mando shoots him. I like this one a lot. I don't know that this is super, this is definitely not Holy Carabast.
No, I think probably middle of the road.
Okay. Because I think there were a lot of really good stuff. I loved the action in this one.
I think we're going to have a lot of middle of the road.
We probably are. I love the action, but there was enough annoying stuff that drops that one down, I think.
So Chapter 7 is entitled The Reckoning.
Still, keep going. Go ahead and read the description.
An old contact extends an invitation to the Mandalorian to make peace with his enemies.
So this episode has still the funniest sequence of the show so far. Although season 2's got a lot of funny, but the two stormtroopers standing there trying
that is definitely the
to shoot
hardest
the
I
rock
laughed out
or whatever
loud in season 1 for sure.
That was really hilarious. It's pretty sad though, because Quill dies in this episode. That was very sad.
And then you end with the Mexican standoff. Well, not Mexican standoff, but
basically cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah,
at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely think this is at least tier 2
You think so?
Well,
You talking about like scruffy nerf herder tier?
yeah, scruffy nerf herder tier. That's what I think.
I don't think it's higher than that.
No,
I
think
don't.
that at most.
Honestly, I still like this one better than this one.
Yeah.
But would you switch that?
No. I think that's fine.
I just really like this episode. It's a great character-driven story.
Yeah. So last episode of season 1 is chapter 8, Redemption. The Mandalorian and his allies come to know their true enemy who already knows much about them. So this, of course, is the ending of the standoff. Yep. Yeah. And IG-11 comes in and saves the day, sacrificing himself to allow them to...
It's the first time we get to see Mando's face.
Yep.
Bloodied
take off his mask, and
which made a whole lot of sense in that episode.
It did.
There's a lot that just worked in this episode.
Yep.
The Moff Gideon, basically Darth Vader comparison.
Yep. And then the dark saber
coming out. I think this is a really strong episode. It's at least top of Scruffy.
Even the cheesy floating in the weren't they floating in lava again this episode?
Yes, but
it's so much better than episode 3.
Oh, Revenge of the
Sith, the floating in lava and everything.
It was a chosen one.
No, Eddie, don't do it. Yes. Anyway, no, I definitely think this is. I think this is top tier. I think this is.
I could go. I mean, it was
Carabas.
really sad with Quill dying in the next to last episode, but I thought the IG-11 was more impactful, and it's partially because of the build up. I mean, Quill was. I think it was less impactful. I mean, it was more sad feeling,
but less impactful.
But less impactful because it was. Well, and it was more surprising.
Yeah, you didn't have a build up at all. You're
really,
just like, wait, what?
You didn't know that. Yeah, he was gonna. I mean, it's very. But yeah, IG-11 was a cool ending to his arc.
It was a cool ending.
It's cool that they gave an assassin droid an entire arc in 2 or 3 episodes.
Yep,
which was pretty cool. Yeah, good episode.
So we'll start with chapter 8, which is season 2, episode
chapter
1.
9, I think, right?
Oh, chapter 9. Yeah, chapter 9, which is entitled "The Marshal." The Mandalorian and the child continue their journey, facing enemies and rallying allies as they make their way through a dangerous galaxy in the tumultuous era after the collapse of the Galactic Empire. God, that was a little wordy.
Mouthful of a summary.
So I loved this one for the epicness of when he flies out of the mouth of the, what is it? I don't even remember what it's called.
Crate
dragon.
Yeah.
Crate dragon. That scene, the whole fighting scene of the Crate Dragon and the scene where the Crate Dragon first enters the town and you realize how big it is and it eats the bantha and it's just like, oh my gosh, what are we dealing with here? And then, of course, you end that episode, I believe, with seeing who we've been waiting to find out who's following them the whole time.
He had his Force Awakens stand and turn moment.
Yeah. So we get Boba Fett in that episode 1. So I think this one goes for me closer to the top.
I don't think this is a top tier.
No,
but mostly because of
the Marshal.
What's coming in this.
I thought you were going to say because of the Marshal.
He was fine. I like Cobb Vanth. I like that character pretty well. He's pretty good.
Remember, it's got all the parts with. I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm just trying to remind you of the cool parts with the where Mando's sitting down with all the guys eating or sitting around the fire, and he's talking to them in their language. And
there was. I did love the sand people.
Yeah,
there was a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot in that episode.
For now, why don't we put this
second tier
at the beginning of it? Because I think it's probably still higher than anything in the first season.
So chapter 10, which is episode 2, The Passenger. The Mandalorian must ferry a passenger with precious cargo on a risky journey. So this is filler episode.
Yes.
and
not a particularly
not-
great filler
not
episode,
as and definitely not as good as the filler episode from the first
darkly comedic.
season. It is darkly comedic. It's got
Yes.
that funniness. The spiders are really cool.
Yes,
The ice
scary.
planet is really cool. His flying is really fun.
The frog alien was actually. When we first saw her, I was kind of like, oh, this is gonna be like
Just a
cheesy
frog,
and crappy.
frog lady.
But
yeah.
she was really good, actually.
I
mean,
wish they would have used her or the husband or whatever again later on. I know they used them like an episode later.
maybe we'll see them in season 3 or something.
Yeah, I really liked those characters.
Yeah, they were expressive, even with a fully alien language that they didn't subtitle. Right? They didn't.
No.
They didn't really ever subtitle her.
No, the only way she was able to actually be understood was when she hooked up
Zero,
to the droid.
which was cool too.
Yep.
So
lower than the other filler episode. Where was that one at?
well, that's one second tier because that's
Oh yeah,
a
so
really
I put
good
this.
episode.
I put this 4 at least.
At least, yeah, I'd say, well, either Date Fair. It's not as bad as the Gunslinger, whatever that one was called, the sharpshooter, bounty hunter, maybe whatever.
Maybe drop that one to the bottom and put this one in tier 4 by itself. We gotta have something in the bottom.
Well, we've already got one picked out for the.
Well, okay, this is true.
Why don't we? But that, yeah, I do. I mean, when you compare these two episodes, honestly, this one was much more enjoyable. Because it was funny and the characters were. It's kind of funny because the frog lady is more interesting than that bounty hunter kid, and he speaks English, or excuse me, he speaks Galactic Basic,
Galactic, yeah,
which is English.
yeah.
That's not racist.
All right, so chapter 11, the Heiress. Mandalorian braves the high seas and meets unexpected allies. So this episode is really good.
This episode was OMG good.
I love pirate stuff.
Yes.
I don't know if we've talked a lot about that, but I love pirate stuff. That's some of my favorite. Being on the ocean and the different aspects of sea creatures and love like octopus and
Octonauts. Oh wait, no.
yeah. The way they did the is this the first time that we've done a live action version of those
The Quarrens?
the Quarrens?
I don't think they were ever in. Probably.
Anyway, I love the design, and I mean they basically copied the Rebels.
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars,
Yeah.
And but anyway, that was awesome, and then of course meeting your favorite character. Probably from season 2, right?
Well, no, I my favorite character is still Ahsoka. I mean, that's
okay. All right. Just making sure.
No,
Just kidding.
no. I mean, I really liked this episode. Was just really awesome.
Yeah,
The
it was.
action was awesome. The way they shot the Mandos plural.
Yep.
Fighting. It was just
Baby getting dropped down into the whatever the mama something.
the mama core.
Mama core.
You ever seen a mama core eat?
Yeah.
If a core
And
never.
then the ending with the ship being put back together.
The
And
ship,
him complaining about it is hilarious. It's all
there
like
was-
duct taped together, basically.
So I'd say this is top tier in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll go with, let's see, episode 4 of season 2, which is chapter 12, The Siege. The Mandalorian and the child must make a stop on their voyage to have the ship repaired. They meet 2 old allies, and the Mandalorian helps them with a mission to destroy an Imperial outpost. So we get to get
a live action Rebels episode.
Yeah, that's right. We get a live action Rebels episode with an Imperial outpost infiltration and a really cool scene with Cara Dune and lots of awesomeness to
Her
kind of
driving
start
skills.
to reveal what's actually happening with the baby and the fact that they're taking midichlorians from him or whatever from his blood and trying to infuse that with clones or something weird, where I think we're trying to fill the gaps for The Last Jedi. Right? The Last Jedi? Or the last one, whatever the last one's entitled. The Rise of Skywalker, sorry.
Rise of Jedi
Last
Skywalker.
Last Jedi is... Never mind. Okay,
Bantha
we're not
voodoo.
gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that right now. So this episode, I loved for the fact that it was a Rebels.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it had some really cool scenes. We got to see the character. I don't remember what his name is, but from the very first episode again.
Yeah.
Where he.
If you hadn't said that, I would have been able to tell you.
Himself. It was hilarious. I thought that scene was
I thought you were talking
funny.
about. Yes. Yes.
The blue guy.
Yeah, the blue guy. Yeah.
And he actually, out of all the comedy stuff from season 2, he was probably some of the funniest.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Very good. He was. Yeah. This is middle to higher.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. I mean, this was not wholly carabast. I mean, this was still filler.
And the scene with baby Grogu pulling the blue cookies from the other kid, that was pretty funny.
Was priceless.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'd say at least,
second tier.
Least, but let's put it in second tier.
Let's put it second tier.
We're going to have everything
solidly
in second tier.
Second season was really good. Really, really good.
Was. All right, so chapter 13, finally, what I had been waiting on the whole time, the Jedi.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian journeys to a world ruled by a cruel magistrate who has made a powerful enemy. And so we get Ahsoka, which is awesome and well done.
So
the
top tier.
Yeah.
Holy
whole episode is beautiful. It's very well done. Mm-hmm. There's so many different little nods to other things. I love the Asian character guy who I think was and then becomes the leader of the town.
Oh yeah,
with the children,
the mayor guy. Yeah,
the people in the weird jail things where they're getting electrocuted. Got all the kind of standoff at the end with Mando and the magistrate second.
Yeah, that was actually kind of fun.
It was.
The magistrate is honestly, I think, the weakest.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's more just, and it's, I mean, I think the lady's probably a decent actress and stuff. I think the character just wasn't, there was no depth. It was like a Marvel villain, basically.
I honestly feel that the bad guys were the weakest link in season 2.
Overall.
Just because of the last episode as well.
No, that's a decent affair.
So I would say this definitely goes top tier for sure. So then we got chapter 14, The Tragedy, which is the Mandalorian and the child travel to an ancient site.
This episode was really good.
Yeah. What's really funny is going into this episode, I was like, man, I hope it's not about
Luke.
No, about Boba Fett, because I was worried that he would overshadow the Mandalorian.
And he did. He very did.
But it was really good.
It was.
And they kind of pull him back in the last 2 episodes, is they have to, because he's so awesome. Mm-hmm. His presence on screen,
his own show instead of being
his
in the Mandalorian.
presence on screen is just phenomenal. His voicing, his everything
his
about
fighting
him.
style.
I honestly wish he would have kept his helmet and body armor off for a longer period of time.
His character design with the cloak and stuff.
I know that's
iconic, and it was great. It was awesome. It was an awesome moment.
It was
for him.
Knee rockets. I mean, my gosh.
Yes, I mean, there's
So that whole sequence, it was a little let down with the scene of Grogu on top of the mountain. I felt like there should have been more. I was expecting more with the temple, honestly.
Well, and we may see some more stuff with that. We may see some sort of Luke Grogu spin-off show.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
But yeah, I would definitely say this is top tier as well.
Absolutely. I agree. 100%.
So, all right. Second to last episode.
This is the episode that we're going to get some disagreement with, which is fine.
Chapter 15 is The Believer. To move against the Empire.
I couldn't leave, Burr.
Oh, if I tried. The Mandalorian needs the help of an old enemy. Yeah. So, Bill Burr's episode. Enough said.
So we're in the minority. We know that. This has been our most disliked video, and we reviewed this episode on our channel to date. we didn't love this episode. We found Bill Burr's character to be particularly annoying. I know people thought it was hilarious.
And honestly, that was the most annoying part to me. Was not necessarily. I mean, it was Bill Burr was pretty bad. He was number two. Two, the fact that Mando took off his mask. That part of that episode weakened everything, in my opinion, because the only other time he's taken it off was the end of season 1.
Which was an awesome moment.
And then the very next episode, we're doing a definite reveal of the face when he says bye to Grogu.
Yes.
And so that episode 7, the fact that he had to take his mask off and it was just for some stupid... just a face had to be scanned. And then they end up shooting up the whole place. What they should have done is just gone in, shoot up the whole place, grab a stormtrooper, shove his face into the thing, and then get out.
Yeah.
And or make
that
Bill Burr do it. Or whatever.
Right, whatever.
Like, whatever. Anyway, that is the weakest part for me, and that's why...
There's a lot that's not particularly great.
There's the terrible graphics of the chase scene that remind me of...
Mad Max.
No, well, I mean, yes, Mad Max, but no, the fly... what is it? The diamonds. Or not diamonds.
I still don't quite understand your reference, but yes.
Shia LaBeouf swinging from the vines. That is terrible graphics. This is terrible graphics. It's just, they're super cartoony, badly animated, and they sit there with the detonators in hand, and they're just sitting there, and then the TIE fighters.
So in case you haven't figured it out, we're putting this in our Bantha Poodoo tier.
Which almost makes me want to put that other episode up here.
That's what happened.
So, final episode. So, before we get too negative and in the ruts, is Chapter 16, The Rescue. The Mandalorian and the child continue their journey through a dangerous galaxy. That's kind of a crappy summary. So...
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker.
Which... that Luke Skywalker is going to make most of y'all want to put it in top tier, but I can guess that we're probably not going to put it quite top tier.
Yeah.
We did like this episode.
Yeah.
There were, we felt like that we looked at this episode through two lenses almost. Yeah. Like from a childhood Star Wars fan,
it goes top tier.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Top tier.
Yep.
From a quality of episode and
storytelling
and CGI, I mean that's rough to. I mean that's more that's a more nitpicky, honestly, for where we are. But as far as storytelling and build up and the way the battle stuff was framed out and so much Deus Ex Machina, we can't put it in top tier, and that's so. And from that lens, we didn't love it as much. I think we talked a lot about it. I kept giving Jonathan a hard time. I think you're giving it too much credit. You're being too hard on it, and so I think it wasn't as good an episode in our opinion. And so
several of these others. Yeah.
Honestly, I would say putting it in the middle of the road. I mean, I could say putting it up into scruffy looking nerf herder because of the Luke Skywalker and the Grogu touching Grogu. That moment alone puts it up pretty higher. I mean, that was so good.
Yeah. And the R2-D2 scene.
That was cute. That was fun.
And
that was more nostalgia.
And Luke. I mean, Luke was really good. Going back and seeing that again, I watched it a second time at some point, and that Luke scene is just... Yeah. It's the Luke we always wanted, just like the Boba Fett we always wanted. It's the Luke that he got to redo. And, I wish that he was younger and still could act it because it would be phenomenal. And then have a sideshow right now with him at that age.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, I think it goes tier 2 either at the end or tier 3, either one.
No, I think because of certain moments, I think it's a tier 2. I think it's a scruffy nerf herder tier.
So I hope you enjoyed and didn't get too bogged down by the negativity, but we really honestly forget the last 2 episodes. The whole thing together is an amazing arc with Grogu, Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him. And we're super looking forward to all the other things that they come out with.
It's a cool future for Star Wars right now.
It is a very, very good looking future for Star Wars. We're excited. Hope you guys are too. If you didn't already subscribe, like, comment, etc. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.